Napalm, please show your face, and then we'll take the thing off. Otherwise, we're not gonna let you on. Gotta know who you are, buddy.
It's a new image.
All right, it's a real person. Real person. All right, cool.
Very cool.
You're good.
Very
You can take
cool.
it off if you want. Sorry, just had to see. All right, here we go.
Thank you for that, Moose. Thank you, Napalm, for joining. Finder of the First Thought. Welcome, by the way, and feel free, introduce yourself. What do you want to talk about?
Hey, thanks a lot, Jack. I was just listening over there on Proper Instruction Motivates People, and he had some background music playing. I was like, Jack, that's actually sounds pretty fire.
You brought the tip over?
Yeah, I had to. It had me
Okay.
all goosebumpy.
Hey, Moose, I don't know what background he's using for me, but that is a good idea. I keep forgetting that. If we can get like a background something in the back. Thanks, Napalm.
I was just listening to Paul's, and it sounded actually really good. Some of the music he's playing in the background. So I just want to let you know.
Hey, I appreciate it. Hey, while you're here, Napalm, please, what are your thoughts on faith? Are you a man of religion or spirit? Are you a man of the world? Where do you kind of place yourself?
Well, my parents brought me up pretty much like Christian, I guess, up until like about 15 or so. We went to church every Sunday, Wednesday night type thing. But anymore, um, I'm kind of just like the spiritual path. I believe the Bible's a book. You know, Jesus probably did live most definitely because of all the records or whatnot. But the embellishments, I don't know. So just like I tell my parents, I said, Jesus was born of a virgin, right? And artificial insemination is something, if you have enough fiat, you can get done nowadays. So the first miracle was like something that any doctor can do nowadays. And it made them think deeper about it.
There's many reasons to question, not just things from history, but things from today. I'm curious. So you're more spiritual, and I agree. I found a lot of interesting observations on the Bible. One of which is kind of what you described, that maybe there was involvement. You know, there was technology or knowledge being used that just wasn't explained.
But right. I think that that's a possibility for sure. Sorry, Jack.
No, hey, I appreciate it. The other part, though, that I really started considering is, what does it matter? What does it matter if it is made up?
Right.
I saw the value
either way.
I saw the value in what was being taught, and honestly, the way of Jesus is the way we would be treating each other if we were under natural law or common law. We wouldn't be doing all of this, at least to my understandings of natural law and common law. It would be with honor and openness, fairness, with love, right?
Right. Jesus took away the 10 commandments and basically gave 2, which boiled down to love your neighbor as yourself. Everything is self.
Amen. And here's where I'm at. I'm just sharing my experience brought me to tremendous faith. I set the goal for myself because I did and did not place Jesus on a pedestal, right? I did my whole life comparing myself to him, trying to be like him, but I didn't turn to God. So it was fucking hard and miserable. So what I mean is,
I mean, some of the points that I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Some of the points that I bring up to like my parents who shoved it down my throat until I was like 15, and I don't really hold any hostility towards them for it. You know, religion is as good as any, but just like it's based off Judaism, Christianity. You know, when I explained this to them and that Jesus was from the Middle East, he's not as we always see him depicted.
Well, there's many distortions in what people believe, and I myself, I realize there's still a lot to learn. Right? There's still things being understood, translated, discovered. History actually evolves as the society and the technology evolves. So there's more and more pieces being put together, and we do live at a time. We are blessed. This YouTube and online stuff, man, there is so much information available, so much to be able that we are able to learn. But in regards to the Bible and the story of Jesus, where I ended up, the conclusion I finally ended up at was what if? So I started trying to consciously love God with all my mind, thoughts, heart, my actions, my deed. So what is God? God is love. So I love love. I keep loving thoughts. I think pure thoughts. And honestly, I've surrendered to such a point. I'm just grateful for each moment. And imagine if humanity lived like that, grateful for each day. Where all around the world, people lived filled with gratitude because they knew that we were with a God who loves us, doesn't want us to be slaves to others, doesn't want us to be slaves to debts, fighting with each other. Sorry. Welcome. There's been a couple. Please join the conversation. I'll yield.
Hey, thanks for having me, Jack. I just wanted to, speak on yesterday a little bit, and because I didn't add too much at the time, but to expand a little bit, I saw a genuine heart connection and heart opening that was going on with you, and I mentioned it in the chat, but we're upon a lunar eclipse right now. And for those that get into astrology to any degree, the sun is in Taurus and the moon is in Scorpio. So the Taurus is the bull. Think of a bull as a strong, sturdy neck. When you get to the anatomy, the Taurus has to do with the neck region. So what I saw going on with you with that heart opening, Jack, was you had opened your throat chakra to truth. The throat chakra is about truth, speaking truth, having humility. And I saw that happening. So I'm just saying it seems that there was something taking place where you were expressing your own personal journey, but in accordance to with what is also going on celestially with the alignments. And I've seen it going on in my own personal life. My buddy is going through some purging right now, even literally. So there's a lot going on astrologically, and it was just nice to see. You really just be genuine, man, and it gave me a different perspective on you, Jack. And it was good to see you. I knew that was in there within you, and just like Paul and others said, they knew, we knew there was going to be a breakthrough at some point, and that was yesterday. I yield.
Thank you, Christos. God bless. Welcome, Svetlana.
Hey,
And
Jack,
of
I
course,
have to disagree with you. There is zero evidence of evolution in this place, but there is a lot of evidence of devolution, society, and everything. Even if you look at your own body, you're not evolving. Your body is dying, like especially our age and older. So there is zero evidence of evolution. I have to
She's
agree with
working
you
with Putin.
on to
She's
be
working with
like
Putin, Jack.
Jesus, but it's in order not to kill yourself, because you are we came here, we were already perfect. It was It was nothing to learn here, nothing to improve. The only thing is we all need to get out, whoever is alive. Because
Quiet,
the
Russian
steroid
spy.
field, it's
No.
jail.
Well, hey, Svetlana, what if both things could be true? Because at each moment we are dying, like you said, but at each moment we are also regenerating, renewing, cleansing. We are. There is.
It's not possible. Both things cannot be true because the opposite of each other.
Oh, Svetlana, bless you. I'm sorry.
Cellular
I'm sorry.
regeneration happens.
Well, let's focus on what is obvious. You said both things cannot be true. Both things most certainly can be true because we exist
evolving
within
of this
a
place and devolving of
state
this
of
place at the same time is
duality.
just not
We
possible.
stand with Ukraine, ma'am, and you're here under the auspices of Putin to destroy Jack's channel.
No.
You know what this is?
I
This
didn't
woman
get
is a
that.
spy and an infiltrator.
I didn't get that feeling. I didn't get that feeling at all. But I'm not sure the purpose of your disagreement. What would be the benefit if I believed what you're saying as opposed to the life that, as opposed to what I'm suggesting that
We're at the point with it.
She's a robot, Jack. I'm telling you, she's one of Putin's robot army. Get her out.
Believing into something is not enough. You have to know. Believing is not enough. You have to know.
Right. Well,
and it's only
Svetlana,
one truth will exist.
Svetlana,
And if you know,
please.
you will follow that truth.
Svetlana, I love
If
you,
you
my
can
friend,
create a
my
feeling.
sister.
Plus, I had experience almost leaving this place. And you
Hey.
have to, it's the closest one from all of the religions would be Buddhism. You have to basically, to get off this wheel, you have to refuse everything.
You must become
all
pure.
Physical.
And hey,
all
Svetlana,
Svetlana,
Svetlana, I'm going to interrupt you because I number one, I want to agree with you. Okay. And number two, I want to encourage you to consider that you are perfectly where you're supposed to be. And this conversation could have been divinely designed. I kind of think it may have been. But you mentioned that it's best not to believe, but to know. And the words you are hearing from me, I don't speak about things so much that I believe, but it is a knowing. And I will be very clear about what I can explain and prove for myself versus what I may have to suggest you investigate further on your own. But I am a man who knows that we are the result of and a part of the loving generation of God, that we are part of the expression of love that generates life. It's experienced and witnessed throughout nature in many different species and forms, and we happen to be a part of that. But collectively, religions and politics and all sorts of things have confused everybody. And so people think many things are real.
They're designed to confuse.
Well, I think this is God's design. God's design is placed us here with the consciousness and the ability to think and to understand information. But it's a realm of light and dark, of good and evil. It's a realm of information and energy. So we're just
also see in this place. Sorry for interrupting. I can't hear you anymore. So I can't hear what you're saying. Basically, the last thing I captured from what you're saying, with we are expression of God, and I agree with that. Everyone whose soul is alive, who's going to be able to exit this place, we are part of the God. But ultimately, it's also something was created over here, which is opposite of God. That's what we see, and that's what's horrifying us. The death, when we're experiencing, even seeing animals being road killed,
Have you
it's
seen the
hurting my
enslaved
soul.
cult?
so dramatically. It's something cannot be called God, because God is a
Hey,
creation,
sister,
not a destruction.
sister.
It's just something is opposite of God existing here, and that's what I'm trying
Yes,
to filter out and leave
yes,
behind.
yes. Hey, Svetlana, let me offer a few things. Please know that I'm available to talk to even off here if you have the interest in conversations. But the
Hey,
topic
Svetlana,
tonight,
how much for the weekend? Girlfriend
no,
experience?
no. The topic tonight
Just because
is
she's
living.
Russian doesn't mean that she's necessarily
Stop. I know.
okay.
Hey, living in a world that lacks faith. Okay, that is the topic tonight, and that's where we're at. We can live with faith, with the fear that things are going to get worse, things are going to, whatever. Or we can find gratitude for the day. Gratitude for the fact that we know there's good, we know there's evil. So then we get to choose. What does that mean for me? What do I do? What do I do with what I know?
Jack, that's right on point. Literally, we have the ability to choose. Can we control our thoughts and control our beingness?
I believe we can control, well, we can influence both. I believe we receive thoughts and we receive beingness through the thoughts and conditions of the moment in the environment. But we don't, we can influence and choose the thoughts that receive our time and attention. But as far as see, this is where I kind of push the limits of belief, in that I think God is knowledge, like all knowledge. That which controls knowledge controls all things. And I think that's how we're
Absolutely.
controlled, is through the knowledge. But that's how evil corruption in our governments and our corporations has emerged, is through control of knowledge. That's why I've been pursuing, I think we should end secrets here on earth. I think it might make our creator a little more, I think it might please that which created us if we stopped lying to each other and fucking murdering each other for this fiat currency stuff. I don't know.
I
It's
agree. I think full
crazy
disclosure would
talk.
definitely benefit everyone. Sorry.
No, disclosure would end it. Oh, hey, Svetlana, blessings. You are welcome when you're available, and I encourage you, please go back or consider the words I offer or that we're sharing, because it sucks not to have faith. But seriously, stop and think about that. To live without fear.
So, what
Okay,
is it, though? What is
faith.
faith?
Faith is the trusting, the confidence and comfort in the being. So if you can find comfort and confidence in the being of now, then the faith comes in for the future. And so this society has taught us to focus on the past and prepare for the worst. So we imagine the worst and focus on the worst memories. But if you flip the script on yourself,
Yes.
learn from the past, find gratitude for all things from the past, the good, the bad, the boring. Find gratitude from all of that so that you can just put it down and just find gratitude for being today. And if you can focus your mind, train your mind to that, not to bounce back and forth between the schedules and the memories, but if you can train your mind to be present in how you feel and what's happening right now, well, then with a clear mind, you can imagine, the near and distant future. Imagine what you want to accomplish, what you want to experience. And then that's where that prayer comes in, and the explanations. For those who haven't come across the Book of Thomas, it helped me better understand the words of Christ. So, but the idea of the prayer is to bring the thoughts, intentions, God's will. You know, God wants to
To
serve
a
us.
feeling.
Yep, into a feeling, and bring your essence, your mind and imagination, bring you into that feeling, that experience of completion, being in the
And you'll
state.
create that moment.
That's what they're trying to teach
See,
us.
part of the problem, Jack,
Cheers,
is all this idea of privacy and division, everybody competing, fighting over their stuff. We got to end all this. We need to put an end to not only legal secrets, but privacy and private property. We got to get back to some kind of real village and community here.
I agree completely,
Right.
my brother.
If you got something to hide, then obviously you're up to some shit. I agree with that part of the policy.
This is the idea, I think, for the future. I think, honestly, my opinion is that in the big scope of thing, in the story of creation, God revealed a lot of things. It was recorded in the Old Testament and then reinterpreted with the New Testament. But I think God allowed the human beings, us, our consciousness to drop into this dark density. So we drop into from the heavens into this physical realm, into the more dense states of being, where we can experience feelings and separation and all sorts of crazy stuff. I really do. I think this is like a simulated hologram. Reality is only real to us. I mean, you go to sleep and
Absolutely.
reality disappears.
Yep. Wake up and it's there again.
Yep, it's a
But I think the
persistent.
gods envy us because we have that ability to experience, you know, we're a physicality. We're a meat suit.
Yes,
And we have the ability to control it.
exactly. And when I started studying self-development and health, when I started studying the mind and body, it was like it's right in front of our faces. As a matter of fact, it's just right there. These bodies, they're made for pain and pleasure. So
Yeah.
we spend our lives teaching our children how to avoid pain. Why didn't anyone teach us how to enjoy these bodies? Why didn't anyone teach me how to massage or how to stretch properly, how to meditate? You know, what the hell?
Or something as simple as like a good thought makes a good feeling and a bad thought makes a bad feeling. I mean, that's just so black and white that it's.
Whoa.
That's perfect.
Why didn't anyone tell us till so late in the game, Talcott, like you learned that the male G-spot is so deep inside the rectum?
Well, that was Christos who thought that. I hadn't met him until this age. Yeah, why didn't someone teach me that? I don't know. This is such a cruel
Takes a
world.
little experimentation.
Well, and actually, golly geez, not to bash, but to really kind of point it out with the Abrahamic traditions, the more I'm understanding, kind of like Aaron was talking about the expression of the divine as a feminine, that there's an actual relationship with us and that which is. And there's something about our sexual energies. There's a lot of power in your setting your intentions and stuff with bringing your sexual energies, not desires, but the energies into the feelings. And to the point of that, the fucking circumcision is apparently like,
Owie.
you know, destroys a man's experience of sex, not destroy it, but it severely limits. There is a map
Damn,
that
I
I am
wouldn't know.
familiar with. Praise be. Life is fun. Life is fun when we allow it, I think.
Great.
But what if that's true? What if life is fun when we allow it because we are the gods? What if we are the
And it
gods?
sucks when we allow it.
What sucks when we allow it?
Life can suck when we allow it too. Like once we direct our feelings it's easy to get on that downhill slide. You know, momentum is a law of nature too. And once you got an upward momentum, it's easy to keep climbing up. Once you got a downward, it's way easier to fall way deeper.
Hey, amen. It is easy to fall. And once you see yourself start falling, it's real easy to dig that hole pretty deep, getting angry at the situation, causing all sorts of fucking damage. I remember doing stupid things like that. But the thing is seriously, there's something to be said about having faith. And I don't know the right path. You know, I didn't follow the same way as many others. That's for damn sure. But
So
I'm
can I ask you a
confident.
question, Jack?
Please.
If you can put it into like a formula of like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, you know what I'm saying? For the people that haven't really done the research or whatever, you know, how would you put it in a layman's terms of this is a starting point and then you can go from here to here to here?
I kind of love that. I'm not sure where to take that answer, but number one, from hindsight of my own experience, if you can believe that there is a God who loves you, number one, then number two, start seeking it. Start seeking love. Look within yourself. First off, where do you feel good sharing love? Because the love we feel is God's love for us to share. And so, number one, I would seriously believe in God, in the divine, the one that creates the universe, that allows life and death to occur, because it's a beautiful, magical process. And then I ended up going to the Jesus, right? And I don't know the right name. I don't know what's real, but I know there's people who have experienced miracles with the word, with the name and the energy and the belief. So, you know, I'm not convinced of that line that says all you have to do is believe in Jesus to be saved. But
Right. Absolutely.
But if you were going to, here's where I can take that logic though and accept it, is that if you can believe the story that there was a man like us today who lived at one time in the past, who died and did come back, and he was a messenger of love and praise, if you can believe that occurred, then you can believe in the impossible. And if you can believe in the impossible, well, that's the start of understanding our Creator. And then if you can...
The impossible is only impossible till someone proves it possible, right?
Amen. And the thing is in this society, we've been taught to underestimate. We've been taught not to trust. Aaron, think of the universe as an extension of our bodies. Feel how every action in our bodies is a faith-filled knowing that manifests through the neural circuitry of our bodies. Very specifically said and beautifully said. I've heard...
Can I say one thing?
Please.
I like what you said about Jesus, and I just want to reference one thing that he also said was that we have to pick up our own crosses and follow him.
Amen. And that's kind of where I was going, is I don't know where the name may fit in, because I'm of the belief that there's very spiritual people who have a close relationship with the divine that may have never, in the jungles, right? I don't believe God limits itself, just because you haven't
No
come
way.
across the book, right? So if you can believe in the impossible and believe that there is a God who loves, and that it is possible to forgive, even in the most punishing and difficult circumstances, and if you can convince yourself to have faith like that, if you can trust that that power is within you, because it is. I truly believe that. I believe we can experience miracles. I believe miracles happen every day. We just don't see them. And then there's also the real ones, the healing, dude, this life is mystical. And
It is.
it's
Can
when
I
we,
just give one bit of knowledge? I'm sorry.
please,
Go ahead, Jack.
no, please feel free.
All right. I just want to give people one little exercise that they can do to like feel their own anatomy is go ahead and think a thought that makes you feel good, like a good thought, something that's a higher thought. See how your body reacts to that and feel it. And then think a bad thought. Go ahead and play with it. Think my neighbor's an asshole, or, whatever your bad thought is, and then feel where your body goes.
Psychosomatic.
Hey, that's a very simple thing that should be taught to children, because learning how to
Absolutely.
understand where your feelings are coming from, that is so important. That's our fucking guidance system. Those feelings, I believe that is how the divine works through us, is through what we feel, because what we feel becomes the expression of us. And our feelings are going to come from what we think. What we think is going to come
Yes.
from what we have learned. And this is where
Yes.
part of the problems come in today, is we were born into a world of lies. And many people have not learned many things, or they've learned things that are not actually healthy or accurate.
The public fool system, as Paul calls it.
Well, the good news, though, is if this is right, I mean, if we can have faith, and if we can accept the truth that maybe there is a God who loves us, a God who wants us to end slavery, a God who wants us to work together towards creating a better future, I really think this would fulfill the prophecy of the book that many people worship. When Christians start behaving like a Christ, holy shit, what do you think would happen? There's how many millions of them?
Talcott, I mean, we sit here for fucking day in and day out, week after week, month after month, and you just keep trying to fucking end wars and legal secrets. All right, fine, whatever. But all this hard work's got to pay off, okay? And you were talking about Tinder earlier. I think we need to start bringing these women up and having face-to-face with Talcott, okay?
I wish
It's
they
not right.
would.
Talcott's doing all this work for the damn community, and these damn bitches out there aren't even getting their act together and getting up here and getting some FaceTime with you, right? And probably because the moose creature hasn't even opened the door to that, because he's just so fucking out of it in every aspect of his life. He's just sitting over there with that mama of his, he calls his wife. We got to get you out on the town a little bit, all right? So go ahead, bring them all up. one by one, and let's change the energy here. I mean, God, we're gonna do this. Don't you remember
Friday
back
night
in the
with
day,
Jack, guys.
when you were a young boy, riding around on your motorcycle, listening to Beach Boys and your little short shorts, right under the board deal? Okay, whatever happened to that?
I love
Now
good
slaves
vibrations.
sitting around all day, every day, talking about slavery and genocide. It's sickening.
I know. What the hell happened to my life? Holy shit. Friday nights, let's see, 6:00. Yeah, I'd be off work by now, having a few.
You've been banging like a screen door.
No. No, dude, my
Right
drinking
on.
got so bad. I wasn't even chasing women for a while. I was just trapped in a bottle.
You're a star, Talcott. You're famous at this point. It's ridiculous.
It's becoming, dude, this is quite, yeah. I've been reflecting and considering, trying to figure out, where does this lead? What's the best course? What do we do with this now that we've merged Unslavious?
Well, I'm putting
I love the other
right
night's
now.
broadcast. That was awesome when Paul had to take over. Jack, I know that was hard for you and stuff, but that was awesome content. And it was hilarious, literally. And not to like laugh at your pain, brother, but you have to see the humor in it from a third party's perspective.
Sure, for those who don't see what was missed, there was a lot of humor to be found. But that's okay. The past brought us to today, and today is the entertainment thing is not as much my focus, because really my hope is, I mean, if one person who listens today or at a later date finds a little bit of faith, finds a little bit of peace, well, holy shit, man. Maybe that's why God's kept me alive all these years. So I don't know why I'm here today. I just know what I want to do. And what I want to do, I want to experience a better world. Better world for the children, and a better world for the elderly, and a world where we respect wisdom. I mean, what the fuck? It's no wonder everyone's so ignorant.
Sorry to bother you, Jack, but Mr. Unslaved over here promised you some women, and nobody came over. So it's kind of hard to put him on stage when there's no one to put on stage.
So we're gonna settle. We'll settle for an effeminate male. Then get back up here.
Hey, no, that's me. Remember, that's what you called me out for day one.
Well,
Son of a bitch.
a lot of you folks got that spirit of your mama up in you. You know, I never had a mama, so I don't have none of that in me. I got the love of a woman in me, in a sense. You know, grandmotherly kindness. Sacred feminine, heart-based care. Yeah, I have that in me, like the Tao, right? But I don't have that spirit of mama up in me. You know what I mean?
Well,
that's why I'm able to lead
I love that spirit of mama.
certain ways. You know, I'm able to lead them because sometimes that toxic feminine spirit of your mama up and you can get in the way, just like the toxic masculine
hey, Paul,
energy can get in the way.
But
most of these men are raised by women, right? They're around women all day, every day. Got no fucking men in their life. The men who are like me in their life, they're like, keep him away from Uncle Paulie. He's constantly smoking reefer and saying motherfucker. So they put him around Talcott, and Talcott's like, I love you.
Hey, Paul, I was going to say, there is something. Many men, I think, were missing the mama's energy, because many mamas have been, like you pointed out, many mamas have been confused, and with men who are confused, and then the kids, fuck, they're raised to raise themselves. And the mom, the feminine energy, honestly, man, that's something that I honor and respect at this point in my life.
Yeah, that's divine feminine energy. That's not that toxic spirit of these people's, the majority of them, mama who got guilt and resentment towards their daddy, right?
No, exactly. No, but
Can't
the
help but
divine,
project that resentment onto him for that daddy that wasn't doing and being who and what he was supposed to be.
well, and here's what I realized is it's easier for me to identify that when I am more whole and complete with myself. And so I worked on strengthening the divine feminine. I have to say, hello, sir. Hello, Verily. Welcome. Please
Jack,
forgive
I'm
my
getting frustrated
rudeness.
over here. I'm gonna have to take over for
No,
a second.
I'm
Jack
sorry
is
if you can hear my
nervous.
phone going off because that's super
That
annoying. I thought I put it on mute.
I'm just kidding. Maybe it's me. I'm nervous
Why
in
are
the
you
back.
interrupting this face to face with Talcott and Verily like right away?
So I was
This
gonna
is
ask
the
Talcott.
first woman
Did
up
you
for
want
some
me to?
FaceTime. And you're,
I'm gonna throw everybody in the back, Talcott. Is that okay with you?
oh my
No,
god!
All right,
no,
all right. I'll go in the back then.
much
Like
love.
one of
Thank,
yeah, that's a horrible producer, but we like him. I guess we keep him around.
hey, you know what Moose was pointing out though was my lack of hospitality and manners. So welcome, Verily, and Sister Jackie. God bless. Great to see you, ladies.
Oh, great to see you.
Hey,
Hello, Verily.
hey, Moose, bring everyone can join. We're just hanging out. Hey, so thank you. The topic originally, ladies, was about living in a world that lacks faith and talking about faith and spirituality, but also more recently talking about the feminine aspects. And so what perfect timing. Hey, Napal.
Right?
I do have something to add about faith, actually, that just happened to me. See, we
Well,
have
faith
the
is love,
same.
of course. Yeah, and
Yeah.
in the divine feminine, right?
But as the last time I was on, Jack, how we had that synchronicity with something we were both going through. That last time I popped on one of your streams, also faith had something to do with something that happened last night. Actually, this morning, because I got off work from night shift last night and went home, and I was having lack of faith with money because Josh had to encourage me in a very encouraging way that I was not having faith that we were going to be provided for and that I shouldn't be putting so much energy into the want of money for working some overtime, and in fact just let it flow, and whether I get it or not get it, that will be in my faith that we will be provided for in the right way at the right time. So I wanted to just come on to add that little encouragement that I had to work through that today and realize that I was not having faith.
Hey, good for you. There is something synchronistic. I'm telling you. And actually, I don't know if you caught what Christos pointed out, but the eclipse energy going on as well, bringing up some stuff. Maybe revealing some things we've been attached to. Money was a big one for me a while ago.
And I'll be back in 1 minute. I forgot to get something. I'll be right back.
Hey, blessings. Paul, what are your thoughts? Our expert panel, Napalm?
I'm dealing with a
Can I
miscreant
pose a
over here who's
question to
new.
the whole panel?
Please do. It sounds like Paul's
This
dealing with a
person is grow
miscreant.
room.
Yeah, absolutely. The same question that I had for Jack, like the rest of us, and I'll give my little tidbit is how could you like break it down to somebody a process of to control the thinking, the feeling, and all that? And the way I feel is the way you think is the way you feel, the way you feel is the way you act, the way you act dictates your results. And so thinking is the root, feeling, then acting, results come after that. And I just posed that to the expert panel. Same question.
Respect. So that was your practice for developing that was a tip for developing the practice of presence, right? Paying attention to the thoughts, as I understood, maybe. Any?
Well, wasn't he asking a question to us?
I thought so.
Napalm? Because, yeah, I wanted to say something about this
Yes,
real quick.
I'm asking, how could you?
Hey,
Yeah.
that's one of the dating game contestants, Talcott.
Hey, before we veer
Hello,
off,
boys.
hey, shut the
How
fuck
are you,
up,
Mrs.
real quick, Steve.
BBBB?
Welcome. Hey,
That's
Napalm,
not
I just wanted
Steve.
to,
That's
I
obviously
wanted to
Mrs.
address what
BBBB.
Napalm was saying.
Please
ahead.
do, Christos.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I'll make it quick. I was just gonna say that when it comes to what you were speaking on, I see it in a sense where we don't want to get too linear with it, where we say, okay, first the thought precedes the action, then the action to the state of being, where that can be it, but kind of like Jack was saying earlier, why can't it be both? You know, you can start from the action or start from the thought. And sometimes it's hard to tell what even happens first because it's this synchronistic thing going on. But I view it as like, there's these different aspects of us which act as input output tables. And, yeah, you can start with the thought or you can start with the action because that positive action is going to have the effect onto your thoughts. And then, boom, it's going to ping pong and amplify. So, where those positive thoughts that you created, the positive mindsets you created through the positive action is going to further reinforce that positive action, and it's going to become this momentous thing if you can allow it to be. I yield.
Hey, amen. The effort once we convince ourselves that we can do something, as soon as we start putting the energy behind it, first with our thoughts, then our emotions, then our actions, I think that's where the divine comes in and starts opening doors, shutting others, and making path for greater things. We're all on our each on our own paths of development and growth. And it's kind of a pretty cool thing. The fact that we get to, right? We get to go through this. We get to learn all this.
Jackie is here, right? Which is kind of synchronistic. We got Jack and Jackie. It is Talcott like dating night. So I figure maybe like we get into some questions and narratives.
Yeah.
I mean, is Jackie?
I really wanted to hear what Paul had to say about that question.
Oh my God, these people, they just keep trying to like cock block. They're
just like, trying to get wisdom.
They're cock blocking. Right? What's up with that?
We're trying to milk you.
Milking you for your wisdom so you can't get milked.
All right, go ahead and milk me, sir. It's always the men who want to milk me. Isn't it interesting?
Well, what do you suggest as far as for those people that want to start changing? What do you suggest for them, the best path? I mean,
Jack Talcott, I talk about this day in and day out so much, I'm annoyed at my rap, okay? We like listen to Wes Watson. It's pretty much the same rap, except focused in a different area. If you want to have high esteem, you have to do esteemable things. You have to think esteemable thoughts, have esteemable feeling space or a neutral feeling space, and you have to engage in actions that create confidence, confidence, right? You have to confide in yourself and others, be real with yourself and others, take account of you and your life, your past, present, and future goals, and shoot for that. The more that you co-create something that you could see as part of your purpose and meaning and process, the more that you have, and I guess a space of beingness that you can rest within, right? Because again, there's different aspects to this. If you create something in the world, purpose and meaning and all that, like let's say I have this broadcast. Well, if they put me out of jail, I have to have a space within me where I can surrender even that and say, okay, I'm here for a reason. I can find peace. I can find a process here of empowerment, inspiration, co-creational change in my life and in others. So yeah, it's one moment at a time. It's one day at a time. You have to create the being and the life that you would desire and know others would desire on some level, and then give that back, just like they do at NA. They show up when they stop doing drugs to tell people who are on drugs how to stop doing drugs, and it's part of everybody's therapy.
Yes, everyone. Here's the thing, though, is I'm confident that humans, we make our lives more difficult than we have to. I know I've done that myself. I've witnessed a lot of other people doing the same thing. I mean, well, hell, when I go and I offer support to some of the homeless people, it's like it's talking to a fucking brick wall sometimes. But
I think we just get in our own heads, like literally, like Paul says, we'll get in our own way because we'll just play it up like it's something that it's not.
Stop thinking and end your problems. Stop thinking and your problems.
That's exactly it. It really is.
You know the next right thing you need to do. Do it.
Yep. But you'll only know when it's time, and that's the part where I think that was a practice I developed in myself, was reminding myself, just because I don't know the answer right now doesn't mean the answer's not there. And I started building my confidence that if there's something I need to know, God will allow me to know it when it's time. God prepares us.
The
but
point
we
is,
get
too,
in our heads.
You have even certain impulses, right? And this goes back to the fine line between what's acceptable with society and how you come to know yourself. There's certain aspects in your life where you have to explore these different impulses. So it becomes, well, this is the next right thing. It feels good. But then through that process, you may learn it's not the rightest thing. It's not the best thing. But now you know better. So a lot of times, right, the next right thing, as I say, it could just be whatever's in front of you. It could just be doing nothing, right? Now, of course, I'm not talking about, necessarily being promiscuous or engaging in behaviors that are disrespecting yourself and others. I'm just talking about this is a long game journey idea where you have to expand your knowledge and understanding of self and the world and how it all works. And the way that you do that is by following certain threads in your life and then making sense out of it. The problem is a lot of folks are not sense able. So they follow these threads and then they make a whole other narrative out of what went on than what they were supposed to get out of it. And that's what I see as a lot of the problem. It's a life living, looking in the rearview mirror, essentially.
Paul, that is very well said. I think that happens on the individual level as well as the collective level. The narrative of the past turns out to be not actually what it was. And here's what I come to realize, though, is the greatest gift, the only time we can ever know, is right now. And so if I focus on living now, now is where I find gratitude. Now is where I find pleasure. And I don't chase I'm very mindful about the pleasures and that I allow myself, because that's what this is. God allows. So if you want to take control of your life, choose what you allow in your mind, your thoughts, your words, your actions, and in your heart. Choose what you allow. Honestly, with the heart, it's best just to allow it all, man. Fucking love it all. Because it's all that it is God. We are each having our own individual conscious trip in the all that is. And the all that is a result of the order and energies of our creator. So we're just experiencing the creator as the creator, but we have amnesia. And we got these like veils of confusion over our minds that make us think we're like important. But the reality is we are. Every single one of us is very important to someone. Probably God. Because God put us all here for some reason. Took me a long time to kind of really just accept that. But if you can accept that as a fact, that there's a God of love that's been known and tried to be and understand through generations and generations of the past. But if you can think that maybe possibly this is the time, this is the generation where, due to the physical development of technology and communication, to where the truth is getting greater known, it's like being dispersed. Knowledge is like water, it flows. And so if
Jack
you can
Talcott, it
imagine
just hit me. Just hit
what
me right now. What this new brand needs to be. It's not live without fear. It's love without fear, Jack Talcott. How
dude,
about that? How
you
do
know
we
what?
teach ourselves and each other how to love without fear completely
God,
and be
that is
unwavering
it.
in truth, right? That's what I'm seeing as the the problem here at its steepest level. How do we love ourselves and each other without fear in order to do the next right thing?
That's
So
sort
that's
of
why I
deep,
started
Paul.
proper instructions. It's about relationships. This is relationship with self, relationship with men and women, relationship with the government, and everything else, right? All things that extend out from our beingness.
That's really intuitive, and I'm glad I came up with it. I mean, that was very, very sharp. I mean, Paul,
That is
I'd
right.
like to tell you how deep
Absolutely.
that was, deep as hell, and very, very fucking spot on. I think. What is your biggest fear? Everybody's biggest fear is that relationship, and that's where you have to overcome it first. Is with self. If you can overcome that relationship with the fucking man in the mirror, and I think we have
Whoa.
that popular fucking pedophile people think, Michael, I'm starting with the man in the mirror, and I'm asking him to change his ways. And no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and make the change.
Hey, Scott, yes, it starts with the relationship with self. If you can build that self love, not the image in the head. But here's where I found, if I may, I'm emphasizing gratitude. You know, I know sometimes it's tough to find gratitude, but here's where I found it myself. Take anything you've got and then try and think about where it came from. The food you eat, the technology you're using, the clothes you're wearing. Think back to the number of people that were involved, the transportation, the design, the construction, the harvesting, the growing, whatever. Think about how many people and how many things are involved in that little thing. And if you can find appreciation for the fact that, I mean, hell, even glass, I don't know how to make glass. Someone else a long time ago figured out how to make glass. Other people figured out how to make it into shapes. And
You use sand to make glass.
so they say. I've never done it. I've never seen it.
We get the benefit of, the evolution of everything and the knowledge that we're here. And technology is one of the biggest ones. The information's available. Bam.
It really is. And that lady came up to oppose the idea of evolution, but that's kind of where maybe there's not been a physical evolution, and she's probably right based on all the chemicals and shit that's in our society. Yeah, we may be devolving our bodies, but when I mean the evolution is our transportation, our logistics, our communication, our technology has grown. The knowledge has evolved. and knowledge is what we are. All we are is ideas. Go ahead. Sorry.
Just to touch on this, we are like the human body, the mind, the will, the spirit, and all that is the biggest piece of technology. But I think a lot of times, just with the way like technology has been advancing, we forget that it all came from a study of like biology.
There's nothing new under the sun. Every innovation and design of man, if you really look at it, it's based on a principle discovered in nature. And the human body is a great example. I mean, levers and all sorts of shit, ball joints. It's pretty amazing. But we're like, whether life is real or not, what matters is what we do. And what we do is going to be based on how we feel and what we think about how we feel and what we see. When I think it was Christos brought up the connection between, someone brought up the connection between thoughts, feelings, and actions. In the Tony Robbins method, he focuses on the state, right? Your state, physical presence, your state of energy within you. And then I'd heard also other wisdom of, the thoughts and the breath are connected. So if you control your breath, you control your mind. Well, I could never gain strong enough control of my breath. I wasn't quick enough to control my state. And so what I started doing is using my state, my feelings, is like it's an alert system. So as soon as I'd feel something, I'd go to my thoughts. What am I thinking about? And then try and figure it out from there. And I started understanding myself a lot more when I starting to understand my triggers instead of just fucking making excuses for them. See, someone asked the best lessons. Here, I kind of over explained it, but the purpose is to stay present now and to rid yourself of excuses and blame.
Yes.
Simple as that.
To stay present for the moment, I'd like to just reflect on why I called you all here this evening. And seriously, the times have been tough. Things haven't been going my way. I've been a little down on my luck. And Napalm, I just need a short-term loan, just a few bucks, not much. But I do appreciate you showing up, and anybody else that wants to chip in there. I could use a little help.
Yeah, that's just a picture, buddy.
Oh,
that's
man.
just my play on the old fiat right there.
You're just
Actually, it
flossing?
was money well in.
You're just flossing.
Oh, yeah, I'm capping on that one.
Okay, that's all right. Well, how did you guys chase two perfectly beautiful women away? What the fuck did you do? How did you turn that upside down and backwards? I mean, you called for it, Polly called for it, and it's like all of a sudden, I mean, it's Friday night. You know what's up? It's time to find a chick to chug like these nuts. So I roll up on the site with my gangsta, looking for Polly to call my cum queen.
Hey,
what?
Getting
Go,
weird.
Polly, speak up.
It's getting a little weird.
I know. I was like, that's what I was thinking. How did it end up?
Have you been drinking? Have you been drinking tonight, Scott?
I could probably loan you a couple of those notes.
I only got one. Okay, 3. Well, this is my 5th drink. 2 more and I'll have a fucking 6-pack.
Well, you are observant and right. Paul did attract and brought with him beautiful ladies, and what changed is it's me, dude. This is my dating life. Women come by and they are quick to disappear, man.
Don't admit that in public, though. Just
I have to jump in here real fast, Mr. Talcott. Jackie didn't leave because of you. She left because of work. But yeah, I think part of the reason the ladies leave is because when they come in the room, they kind of sit there and they just sit there and they're like, when is anyone going to say hi to me?
you're
And
right.
Jackie was
I'm not
building
trying to
with
be a
us.
simp over here, Jack, but when you see
Vera
a
Lee should
beautiful
come
lady
back
come to the
up.
room, you gotta work that shit, man. Paul handed them to you on a platter.
You might
Well,
just let Polly take the fucking first, minute or two, so you can see how he builds this into a rapport, a gather, an exchange of ideas and information. I mean, because he's pretty good at this. I
dude.
mean, so
Oh,
take those
absolutely.
notes, and then you'll find out that you can just go ditto. You can just take a fucking carbon copy and then work the women into their superior self, because it's there. It's deep inside all of us. And if we let other people tell us who we are, who aren't we? Authentic.
No, we're just imagined when we believe we are what others think. But then, are we not just imagined when we are what we think?
Okay, you're going
Hey,
way too deep. All of us here. Hold on, a Friday night, okay? And my God, Verily's over there going boom, and she can bring boom to the room. So get up here and say boom.
The paradox of reality, Jack.
They need they need a boom boom, like a loud one. Moose needs to record this, and you need to say it's the Jack Talcott Friday Night Hour. Boom. Hey, well,
You're on one tonight.
That
there we
always
go.
works.
Well, welcome, Verily. Good to have you back.
Thank you. I got my
Please.
audio fixed.
Oh, fabulous. Please, do you have thoughts? Have you been catching the conversation? What can we receive?
Oh man. I don't know. We all struggle, I think, with keeping faith and enduring through hard times. And I forgot what I wanted to say. Oh, it'll probably come back to me. But thank you for having me.
Hard times.
Talcott, I just finished the logo for Love Without Fear. It's up on my channel.
There we go.
Fucking A, I want to see this.
Using it. You're too late now, but I might let you use it. Maybe we'll merge it.
It looks beautiful, man. That was quick, dude.
Knocking out of the park, Paulie. Good one.
Hey, and actually, that really is. It would have been that would be more clarity, because that is the idea. That is what
Quick,
the
screen
story
grab
of
it so you
Jesus
can steal
was.
it, Jack.
What's that?
Quick, screen grab it so you can steal it.
I'm confident with the path I'm on, but maybe it'll branch out. I'll do some research tomorrow on availability and such, but the love without fear, that is the message of the Christ, the story. That is the message from God. Love without fear, fearless love, fearless honesty, the willingness to serve and to accept consequences for serving the truth, for serving love. I think that's what the message is for. We talk ourselves out of so much shit. I mean, I know I'm guilty of it in my past. And Paul, what you were talking about earlier, living the life of you want to admire, living a guilt-free life, making the choices now that you want to remember yourself doing later. We got to think in the future. Feel free to pop in, Verily, if the thoughts returned.
I'm still absorbing what you were saying there.
Thank you. Well, it was also pointed out to me, not only my laughter at what could be perceived as inappropriate times, but also the fact that sometimes, well, I can take over space, that I lose awareness and consideration for others. So I'm working on that. I'm trying to be a little
Jack,
better.
I mean, gurus are known for that, because once you the cosmic joke in every situation, it's hard not to laugh or cry.
Amen. Well, that's what I mean. And the point to that too is finding humor at the ugliness of the world. We're supposed to be have the innocence of children, have the faith and curiosity of the young. You know, a child has no fear. It says what it thinks and it pursues the thoughts and the ideas and the desires that it wants. To mature, we've got to learn self control, but we don't have to lose the innocence. We don't have
Back
to lose the fun.
back to
No, a lot of people are afraid to be alone.
Whoa.
And they can't manage on their own, and I mean, as a child, I was fearful of things, but I don't know. I think I was pretty full of faith, though. I wasn't scared to the point that I don't know. I don't know. I didn't really get a whole lot of attention, I guess you could say. So I was always a quiet child for the most part.
wink,
Fear
wink,
of
nod,
attention.
nod.
What was that?
I'm wondering if she was really quiet. I mean, now out in public you're quiet, but when you got with someone that was personal, were you quiet still?
No, when I got on my own is when I started to become bold. Like, I started managing a bar, in my early 20s. Yeah, I was
I just, yeah,
time.
I don't see you as
I worked 3 jobs. Most of my adult life, I worked like just doing the grind, So when you do finally wake up to what reality is and what you're supposed to be doing, and having a real purpose, it's like, what the fuck have I been doing this whole entire time? And you're not really all that fearful of going forward, I guess. I don't know.
Hey, well said. The moving forward, that is the key. And so what I heard you say though, and I don't want to over assume, but being the kid that I didn't have faith. I had reasons to be insecure and afraid, and so I always wanted to be out of sight, no attention. I didn't want attention because you get attention, you get in trouble, right? So I wanted to avoid that, and I ended up finding myself in positions where I was stretching myself too thin. I heard you say you were working 3 jobs. You're right. So I was stretched thin, trying to prove my worthiness to others by being of service to others because I was seeking outside validation, even though I wanted no attention.
But can I
So,
break in for just a minute? Because I heard Paulie say this was your date night, and if all you're doing is talking about you, this fucking sucks.
We're relating for once. It's a
Okay,
miracle.
well that's good. Maybe I'm wrong.
Whoa.
So I'm gonna go back to my table and be quiet and just eavesdrop like a fucking weird pervert over here in the corner. And
Well, you're used to that, Scott. I mean, come on
it's
now.
not the first time. It's not the first. Live without fear, love without fear. Continue.
hey, Verily, thank you for saying. I mean, that is what I'm trying to relate. I mean, I do understand, and we can connect to each other through the memories of experiences. We don't need to do that, Moose. Here, please return the panel back. But the idea is what I believe. What I believe is that as people understand me, they'll understand themselves a little better because I do have a way of relating. I got stories and I can understand most people. So,
Jack,
yeah, brother.
the reason why I took everybody off the panel wasn't so you could be on a date. It was so you could focus on Verily and have a one-on-one conversation with her without the distractions of a bunch of these guys, especially Napalm. Look at him right there. I'm not sure whether he's trying to fuck you or he's trying to have a little go on the toilet.
Let's ask him.
So
he's in a grow room, I think. Paulie said it looks like a grow room. If not, we should give him some grow shit.
I'm not
Either
going to
that
mess
or
with
he's
your
living in a
flow, Mr.
storage unit.
Talcott, but
or fucking
these horny
cooler.
boys over here, they're going to mess with your show.
I don't know. It seems like you're breaking the flow right now, Moose.
Yeah, what's up with that?
I just have exceptional
What a
lighting.
producer.
Exceptional lighting. Hey, actually, in fairness, Verily, I should have asked you. I saw what he was doing. I did not want the idea that it was setting up for a date night, but as far as a conversation, certainly. I mean,
It'd be the first time I wasn't stood up on a date in like a while.
Oh crap! Oh my god! There went my lighting.
Oh no!
That's all right. I'm getting this all worked out. The what I was trying to say though is honestly about me is I think this is my role. If people will allow themselves to understand me, they'll understand themselves better. And I think that's what we're all here to do. It's just I've had time to figure out this step.
Because you say all the crazy things that are in your head and people will relate to that, you think? Or is it just because, they're on the same path as you?
I think both, honestly. Because I know the path I'm on, I know the choices I've made, and I know how I feel. I know that I've been studying God. I know that I've studied love. I know that God has blessed me with time off from work, no dating distractions, no social life, no buddies calling me up to go hang out. I've had 5 years all alone with the technology of today and, very inexpensive courses. I've been studying my ass off. And I think if people would listen to me and realize that, yeah, something divine is bringing us together, how else would I have been able to meet Miss Verily had it not been for Mr. Unslavious? Right? I mean, there's something magical about all of this that brings the different natures, the different beings, the different ideas and stories together. And that's what we are.
I was just saying that we need to find kinship, or cultivate it. But yeah, people are fearful and untrusting, and yeah.
Would you say people are afraid to love or afraid of love?
I think people are more afraid of truth.
Fair enough. Can there be any separation?
And I think a lot of people don't really understand what love is.
I want to know what love is.
We answered that faith is love because, that's what most people should answer, I would think.
Did you say faith is love? What was your last statement? That faith is love? Okay.
Yeah.
We'll just want to make sure I caught that.
I actually think that's a great connection. Myself, to know one thing, it's best to know what it is not, right? And so where I went with love, what is love? How do I know it's not love? If gratitude is absent, that was the one for me. If there's no gratitude for what it is, there's no love. Faith, I love that. There's got to be trust and faith for love to be. And gratitude, honesty. Without the truth, there is no love. What else? Respect.
Can I share with you? Remember last night I told you? Do you recall the story of Doubting Thomas? The reason I want to bring this up is I want to hand it over to Paul because he went on and he said, "Remind me of that," and then he went to the Tao with his thinking that was relative to it. And I actually would like to. I'm going to go back and actually, Jack and Paul, if you guys could speak at like 1 or 2 times speed, I listen to you guys quite a lot, and when you speak faster, it helps me because that's how I'm used to listening now. Just FYI. So Yeah, that hurt verily. It actually did. Doing it like that, I actually just press a button on YouTube and they do it naturally. So I don't know how they do it, but they fucking talk fast. Well, I'm going back to catch up, verily, because the dichotomy of all this is new to me. I like parachuted in from 30,000 feet a couple weeks ago and then realized, oh, fuck, I'm an enslavist. Where the fuck am I? And it was like, oh, Jesus. Everybody's running for the fucking hills. They're coming to the middle. It's like, and it took a while before I got my mooring straight and realized there's no boundaries, borders, or fucking sense it sometimes. But most of the time, if you get the right people and they're engaging properly, the perspective gets really high. The optics are high, even when snafu's around. I mean, and it's high level. And then Moose steps in and fucks it all up.
Well, where were you going? You said you had something to do with doubting Thomas.
Yeah, the story of doubting Thomas in the Bible was after Jesus died on the cross. Everybody's sitting around, and Jesus comes and reveals himself to the apostles posthumously, and the only one that wasn't there was Thomas. All right, so the reality is he came and said, well, how would this be true? I don't believe it. It couldn't have happened because he wouldn't have done that to me. He wouldn't have come to all you and not me. And Jesus came back and he said, yes, you're right, my brother. I wouldn't have done that to you. But blessed are you who sees and believes. But even more so are blessed those who will never see, yet still they believe. And Paul took that and ran with it a little bit. And that's where I'm saying, maybe we could take that love and faith thing. And that's what Jesus was saying right there. Blessed are those who have never seen, yet still believe. They have that faith without any proof. That's love.
Amen. Hey, there we go. For we walk by faith, not by sight. That's something I didn't understand. I mean, honestly, I remember being in awe of people who were confident enough to live life unafraid. It made no sense to me. Now, in hindsight, those people came from families with support. They had networks and all sorts of blessings that weren't available to me. But eventually, I learned how to have faith despite the lack of others. Because in my own story, when I started opening my eyes, focusing on gratitude, I finally started seeing some of the love that was around me that I'd been denying myself from receiving. The love of my son. For me, it's so stupid to say, but it's so obvious in hindsight. The love of and admiration, the opinions of those I fucking worked with was more important to me than the time and attention of my own son. But that's the result of a miseducated man in a corrupted and immoral society, and that's why I no longer consent to the world that raised me. Well, I've found like minds in Paul, I believe, for sure, and many others. We stand in defiance of that which was. We see through the lies, we see through the corruption and the pretend of fucking authority. So now the question comes, though, if we do live in a world that lacks faith, yes, we do, but it doesn't have to mean that we lack faith. And if we can find faith in ourselves, in each other, if we can find faith in ideas, in possibilities, I'm telling you, God has inspired me to pursue this. And I don't. Yes, sister.
It's in the works, It's not in the possibilities. It's in, getting out there and doing the work. bringing it to fruition, you know, like feeling complete, because you don't feel complete until you like have that, right? No, I don't know.
What if we deny our completeness? I don't remember the
That's weird.
context of this.
We're afraid of growth, you know, and change, because we all have a lot of room for it, you know. None of us are perfect.
But
Or
what if
close.
we are? But what if we are
No.
perfect and it's only our opinions that actually create the imperfections? I mean, this is kind of what Aaron was talking about last night for those who were here with that. It sounds a little, it sounds like it makes no sense. It's kind of counterintuitive, but there's power in our words and our thoughts and our prayers, and it's up to us to believe. So if we have faith together, I'm telling you,
It's not
what is
enough.
in the works? What is in the works has already been planned by minds greater than ours. You know, maybe some of the minds in human form have been rolling out these fucking agendas that got people putting shit in their bodies and locking themselves in their homes for extended periods of time. So I kind of think that the signs are here that maybe we should do something different. That those minds that have been planning this shit, maybe they've had a head start on planning. But hey, Paul, this thought just occurred to me. I've always been pretty good at disrupting plans, interrupting fucking agendas. Yeah, you kind of seem like the type that has fun with that too.
Yep.
Yeah, and it is Ladies' Night Friday, um, and you have the first lady on here in a long time, and
Yeah, I was just gonna say I was gonna interrupt that fucking boring conversation. Look at
Thank
Jeremy
you.
sitting there, looking pretty damn
Jesus,
good tonight. Okay,
save this fucking ship, Captain.
as opposed to any other night, I guess. What's the difference? So
I have to admit,
pretty good at
she's
interrupting.
beautiful. No, no, good.
Thank you.
Continue, please. I just wanted
Scott
to.
also very good at interrupting agendas.
Somebody tried to say faith is brought about by influence, and I had to disagree with them.
Faith
Yeah.
is brought about through adversity. Tell that slave.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Faith is brought about through adversity is very true, but
Scotty, you're jealous of my man Talcott over here. You need to sit back, let Talcott have a word with the lady.
move forward. But talk more about her.
Give him a moment.
I'd love to hear this Vera Lee
Talcott.
thing. I actually watched last night, and I got off talking with. Let me rephrase my word here.
Scotty, she's already got a date for the night.
I know
right?
that. I want to tell him he should go
You're
back
like the
and
guy at the
restream
bar
Paul's
that
date
walks
with her
over
last
and
night.
just sets a drink next
Feel
to
like he
someone
wants to be a
and
third.
goes, hey,
It's
you're
like
mine
me,
now.
Talcott, and Verily. Okay, she's dating both of us for the night.
Cutthroat.
This guy wants to be the third. She's not into it.
Please let
Are you
Scott
into
say
it?
what he
She's
was
not
gonna
into it.
say.
I'm not into it. Please don't be into it.
Scott, what were you saying, please? Feel free. Or not. You're muted now, brother.
Right.
I didn't mute him.
Oh, yeah, you
he
should've
muted himself.
Okay, yeah, we believe you. No, in all fairness, I enjoy the conversation. Go on, but Verily is up here and talk to her some more. But if you're on a date, you need to listen more than you talk because women tell you a lot of shit and they're intuitive.
Yep. I'm sure. You know, for most men, that would be wonderful advice.
Like
Scott.
even Virily's making a face like that's bullshit.
Yeah, her body language says, Scott, can you just can you stop? Can you stop? She's like closing herself off to us.
I'm being beat up by Moose now.
Smile's
That's
awkward.
pretty fucking low on the totem pole. I'm sorry.
Well,
Here, Verily,
Sorry, that's
start talking over me.
no.
Holy fuck.
Everybody gets their churn in the barrel. I've had mine in there multiple times, okay?
Stop.
Don't talk about the barrel. It's not legal in a lot of states. Go ahead.
Well, part of the thing here is there's little discussion about what I actually say, and it's just fascinating to me. But it is what it is. It's Friday night. I welcome the fellowship with everyone. I don't remember where the conversation was going. You
I'll
guys
tell you
feel
where
free.
it's going.
Panel.
We're getting some more of these women up here, and Talcott's handing out the good Molly. Okay, that pink stuff from uptown.
Ludes, man.
Quaaludes,
That's something I've
740.
never explored with that.
Fucking good lewd is the way to go.
I'm gonna stop
Barely's
popping up
gonna
here
put
on you,
some
Jack.
Molly
'cause I
on
know-
my way.
That's the best way to
Whoa,
take
whoa,
it. Back
whoa, whoa! Thank you, folks.
I'll make you some mushroom tea.
I just wanted to remind you of what you were trying to say, Mr. Talcott. You were just asking people, do they even listen to you? That's what you were saying. You were
No.
saying it's interesting. Do you come here? You want to hang out with me? You want me to listen to you? Did you listen to me? But the thing is, with women, Talcott, you don't have to listen to them. That's why they don't come around.
No, brother.
But if you do
Hey,
listen to
actually-
them, they'll probably stay.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey,
I think Scott's water just broke. We might want to get him to the hospital.
no, honestly though, he did vocalize something I've been wondering. Do people listen? I mean, they say they do, but this is where the idea of actually understanding comes in. And actually, I was pointed out that maybe understanding isn't the best choice of words. Maybe comprehend or accept the truth of what. Oh, dude, that's a new one. I like the sparkles, man. That's beautiful.
Your fucking timing.
Say something.
His timing is impeccable.
It was totally. Oh.
Well, you know you were thinking it. The sparkles are where it's at, man.
Dude, can you fucking edit that damn GIF and put love without fear so I could see that one time? I changed the logo again. Okay, we're carpet bombing tonight. Campaign.
Dude, I'm so inept at graphics. I don't even know how to edit that. I don't even know how to recreate it. I've got like a copy.
Bruce can do it in about 30 seconds. Get it over with.
Probably.
Everybody has the attention span of a goldfish now.
Especially the producer, it seems.
Apparently.
His medication's wearing off.
Oh, dear Lord.
You can't stay as
Something.
focused.
Something is happening.
Well, Moose is the one chimpanzee over in the corner eating his own feces.
The rest of us are just flinging it around. No, hey. You know what, though? Actually, I am looking at the time and considering the evening. It is Friday night. I am still single, and there is a social life. See, the world is changing outside of just right here. That's what I got to remind myself. There's opportunities that I don't even know about yet. So, what opportunities might be waiting for each of you, either tonight or in the near future? What do you think?
I contemplated going dancing because I miss that a lot.
I'll be your driver.
That's actually where my mind was going. Spokane.
I want to be clear. That was a shot like the one on JFK. That wasn't like a neutral shot. That wasn't something we were supposed to celebrate. That was just take Scott out and
Oh,
be done with
No,
him.
Okay,
Additional
okay, so
shots
do
for
it
ladies.
again.
We're
Do
asking
it
no.
again. And wait, does it go tilt forward?
Hey, what is
Back and to the
happening?
left. His head went back and to the left.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, but you need to take control of this show again, Jack. So we're
to avoid
almost on the
Moose
second
doing
hour.
that for you.
That's actually what I was.
Scott,
That's
you gotta
actually.
stop
Hey,
taking
hey,
the words
Moose.
right out of his head.
You too. Holy crap!
You're having fun tonight, Jack, and that's what the most important thing, I think. You're
Hey.
stoic tonight. You're lighthearted. You're getting
Hey,
your message
actually,
across. You asked
thank
people
you.
if they were even listening today, and you did it without getting mad. I'd say
Thank you.
you're making headway, brother. But
I was
do you want to
actually
leave us with
wrapping.
something?
Well, yeah, I was actually wrapping up before you
Is he like
interrupted.
running out of here? Because I see he got somewhere to be or something.
No, that's what he saw the direction I was going, and that's what I was talking
He's
about.
reading you. You guys got your own like flow communication.
We're-
I didn't even pick up on that. Wow.
We're building it, and Paul,
Okay.
fuck, oh dear, you and I. Here, let me finish my thought. Spokane has a cool nightlife, and there's a lot of local bands here too. Like Provo promotes his local bands. I'm not that far, but I love the nightlife. And so, Verily, you mentioned going dancing. I'm not the dancing type, but I love watching women dance. There's something about it.
I don't dance by myself. That's not a thing.
Right.
It's definitely partner dancing, like two-step, West Coast swing,
Yeah.
nightclub two-step.
Yeah, that's not me. But
you would make special considerations for the white gorilla, seeing as how I'm disabled with this horrible affliction called obesity. And I would dance with you, but I can't. So therefore, you may have to dance and I will watch you.
Yeah, I get stuck with the old, like, sweaty, coked out dude. You know, it's a thing. I get it. I'm not special.
All right, well then dance with Talcott then. Whatever.
I would suggest, I bet Paul's got some rhythm in him and it comes out. It may be.
The rhythm was coming out on his birthday, I'll tell you, because he was AFK for like 2 hours. Couldn't get a hold of the man. Couldn't figure out how to get on the panel. Maybe it's just my imagination, but I think he was clapping some cheeks.
Anyway.
No, I was masturbating and then I fell asleep. So like first 3 minutes of that 2 hours masturbating and then the rest fell asleep. Woke up to a nightmare.
Woke up to it. Dude, that's what it's every day. This is a nightmare. I feel safe when I go to sleep. And then when I wake up, it's like, holy shit, there's still people here. People are weird, man. They're out of control. You never know what they're gonna do. They're like these fucking wild cards, man. And there's a whole bunch of them. You know that. Anyway.
I mean, you can't hang out in like the barber shop and like what are those places that guys go and like for the steam room, but it's men only. I forget what they're called.
Bathhouse?
Yeah, bathhouse.
No, I don't visit the bathhouses, but I was thinking of going and getting a massage. See, there's that, Paul. I'm telling you, man. Us men, we've been brainwashed. Women do a lot of things to take care of themselves that feel pretty good. That,
right?
You know, nice hot bath, some bubbles, some lavender, little candlelight, some music in the background. God, maybe I'll just stay in tonight. Holy cows. I'm getting excited.
So verily, is there an OnlyFans out there for you or something?
No.
Is there something I could sign Jack up for? I know that's kind of rude, right? But I figure, you know, there's a fair exchange going on here, and I was just trying to show you fair exchange.
Yeah, my dancing days are not here again, as I found out the other night. So
There is a Talcott OnlyFans. Jack in his tub.
all right.
There is that footage available. It's still currently free. I haven't really figured out how to get paid for this stuff yet, but I'm figuring it out kind of awkwardly.
He was young. He was in the industry. He was young. He didn't really know all,
That's
fine
right.
print. He's working on it.
That's right.
We're going to get you paid for Talcott 2.0. 2 guys, 1 tub. All right, I see you're doing the body language. You want to get the hell out of here. Let's go.
I am. Final words. I'm going to throw you guys in the back to my last. You're welcome. Stay or go. But final
Thank
words.
you for having me on the panel. Moose. And adding my 2 cents. I appreciate it.
Hey, blessings. Thank you, my friend. The feminine energies, those are always absolutely welcome to join. And always a delight. Brother, thoughts, faith, living in a world that lacks faith?
Thoughts about faith and or living in a world that lacks faith?
Any final words on that?
Sure. I mean, the more that you find yourself living in faith, the more it won't matter about what the world is doing, whether they're living in faith or not. That's been the dynamic since the beginning of time, right? The majority of folks are godless, quote unquote, God in quotes, faithless, heartless, gutless, feckless. I could go on. It doesn't matter. We're here to look at us and do what the fuck we need to do and surrender the rest. Simple. Keep it simple, stupid.
That's it. Hey, I'm going to do my final words too. Thank you, brother. Always a blessing.
Later, sir.
God bless. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Paul, Verily, Scott. Golly geez. That's why I don't name, because I always tend to overlook. But for those who joined the panel tonight, joined in the chat, joined at a later time, thank you for sharing your time and attention with us. Please do the subscribe thing to help this thing grow. But my final words, living in a world that lacks faith. I said a lot, and I agree completely with Paul. What Paul said on his way out. Proper instruction motivates people. For those who don't know, that's where Paul is found. But what he was saying on the way out, it really only matters if you have faith. If you can develop your own faith, well, then you'll be able to overcome, hopefully, the distrust of others, because that's really what causes our problems in this world, is when one person lacks faith and it affects another. The fear, the anger, whatever, the accusations, the conflicts, those all come from a lack in faith in the truth or a lack in trust of each other. So I do think that's about it. 2 hours on the nose, and we're going to wrap this up. So thank you again, brothers and sisters, all those who joined. Choose love, peace for everyone, and live without fear. God.